For us, the goal of the CSO program is to have a second set of eyes and ears for the police department, and it's very focused on community policing. So the CSOs are out there, they're interacting with residents, tourists, business owners, and with our homeless population that we have here in downtown Hyannis. They do a foot patrol around the Main Street area. They give information back to the police department. They give information back to the community impact unit as far as which individuals that are homeless are in particular need. And then I take that information and we try to address it with our outreach team. The visibility is really an important piece, and I think it makes people feel much more comfortable. So even though they are civilians, they're not sworn officers, they don't have any powers of arrest, but they represent the police department, and people feel more secure having more of a police presence around. They definitely make a huge difference. If there's any undesirable behavior going on, they take care of it, and all they have is their communication skills and their presence, and so we're very selective in who we choose for these assignments because it's important that they be able to accomplish the goal with just those limited skills.
Always had a lot of interest in the Barnstable community and Barnstable Police Department, so I thought it was a really good opportunity to be able to interact firsthand with the community and get to know it better. I think a lot of the stuff you get is, like I said, the first-hand experience. You know, a lot of the individuals we deal with out here, you know, have certain issues, whether it's mental health or, you know, substance abuse, and, you know, being able to communicate with them effectively is, you know, I don't think necessarily something you can learn in school, but it's something that you can, you know, gain knowledge through work as, you know, through this job.
So they have a week-long training that Sergeant Allen puts together for them. It's an excellent week of training, and one of the days is an 8-hour mental health first aid course. I've been teaching that to them, usually with Sergeant Sturgis, for the last 3 years since we've had the program. And the mental health first aid class, what it is it's an 8-hour course, and it's essentially like first aid for dealing with somebody that's in a mental health or a substance abuse crisis. It's not teaching anybody how to diagnose somebody's mental illness or substance abuse issues, but it's helping them to identify when somebody's in a mental health crisis or, you know, a substance abuse crisis, and the different types of mental illness they might come across while they're out on the streets working the job, how to de-escalate the situation, how to interact with somebody that's in a crisis, and then the different alternatives, the different responses. Usually what they're going to do is they're either going to call the station or they're going to reach out to me and tell me what they have going on if it gets to a point that it's, you know, beyond something that they can handle in the moment.
You know, we get a lot of, obviously we're part of the community impact unit, and through that we got a week-long training, which includes mental health and things like that, but I think it's important to get out here. I think that we're still all training being out here, and you don't get the real-life training until you're out here on the streets walking and dealing with certain situations.
I think most importantly it's been interacting with the community and, you know, being able to get to know the community as a whole. You know, it's definitely been worthwhile and a great experience so far.
The selection process is very stringent. I think the first year we had between 35 and 50 initial applicants. The way that we start to wean it down is we just look at the applications themselves, and we can only choose interviews from the applications that are the best written, the most complete, don't have mistakes, that type of thing. So that's that's just a really easy process to start with, although it takes time. And then from there we do interviews, and the interviews are very heavily weighted in this process. So, you know, there's also a background process. We're going to look at everybody's background. Not the same as we would look at a full-time police candidate, but it's still pretty stringent. But the interview process is very heavily weighted, and we prefer to hire kids that are from our own community, but we will only take the best applicants. And when we have people from other communities that are stars, then we will take them.
I grew up in this town, graduated from Barnstable High School, so a lot of connections. I saw this job as an opportunity to work with the community and better myself for a future career in law enforcement. It definitely allows us to be out here and work with the community and different types of people. the tourists, the business owners around here, and obviously the homeless population as well. So get a diverse group, and working with the community is also just a great opportunity.
This is definitely one of the best parts of my job, and it's so rewarding. I love it. I love doing that mentor coach role. It feels very natural for me, and I'm incredibly proud of these kids. They never let me down. They always exceed my expectations, and I think this is a program that the town should really be proud of, and just aspire to continuing in the future.